Okay, new topic, and this is starting your electricity topic, which has got 3 booklets in it. This one, monitoring and measuring AC, current, PD, power, and resistance, which is quite a lot of revision in it. You've got another one, which is capacitors and internal resistance. And you've got the semiconductors, which you have touched on already, but hopefully we'll go through it again. So today, monitoring and measuring AC, current, potential difference, power, and resistance. Now, you'll recognize most of those words already, and you'll recognize quite a lot of the equations that we're going to do because they'll be quite similar. There's a couple of new things that we need to talk about, but they are related to things that you already know about. So you'll see here, this is what we need to know. And again, some of this will be familiar, some of it will not. So knowledge that AC is a current which changes direction. So we know that. We know that you have done before in National 5 effective voltage, but you didn't really put numbers to it. You just said it was about 0.7 times. But this is the RMS and the peak voltage is actually an equation that defines the relationship between the effective voltage and the peak voltage, which we'll talk about, and determine frequency peak and RMS voltage from graphical data, which is using equations that we already know but in a slightly different way. And if you see at the bottom here, a lot of this is, well, all of it is familiar. Use appropriate relationships to solve problems, including potential difference, current, power, and resistance. And they're just a little bit more tricky than National 5 questions. So you have come across these before, and because we challenge you a little bit more in National 5, you probably come across it. Some of the questions that you've come across already may have been higher questions anyway. So just to start, a little bit of revision of sort of a little bit of your particles and waves, but also a little bit of first year. I've just done this for my first year, so I will link you to the first year work as well. But this is just to show that if you have a magnetic field and current flowing around a wire with a complete circuit, if they two interact, you produce a force. And you guys have done many times before practice with your left hand rule, your right hand rule, to find out the direction of the force. So the first paragraph there is when it's just one wire with current flowing through it in a magnetic field going from north to south, and you can use your right hand rule to work out the direction that that wire would move in, which would be down the way. We'll do more practice of right hand rule when we're in school. I'm not going to try teaching that online because you need me to point in the right directions as well for that. If you coil the wire up, so that's just one, the first one was just a single wire. If you coil the wire up, you get a stronger field. So there's a magnetic field around any current carrying wire. If you coil that current carrying wire up, it's a stronger magnetic field. So in the second one here, which is one you haven't seen before, but it's quite straightforward. There we've got a magnet attached to a spring, so it's going up and down, back and forth into that coil of wire, and it's producing a electric current, or we call it an EMF, and you'll see more about this in advanced higher. It will do a little bit in higher as well. So when the magnet is moving in another field, in this case produced by the coiled wire with current flowing through it, you produce electricity. Now you've done this in first year. You talked about generators, and you said that generators have a magnet moving in a coil of wire, or a coil of wire moving in a magnet, and it produces electricity. So that's just what a generator does. The spring is bouncing the magnet up and down inside the coil of wire. In a dynamo and in most generators, the third diagram is what really happens. So in a dynamo, you have a magnet that's attached to the wheel or something that's spinning, and that spins around here. Okay, so the spinning magnet is interacting with the coil there. Okay, and when the spinning magnet interacts with the coil, it's continuously spinning, so it's continuously moving. So the faster it moves, the more electricity is produced. So the thing that has to be is it has to be something that's continuously moving fast for it to continue producing electricity. The faster it moves, the more electricity it produces. The stronger the magnet, the more electricity it produces. And the more coils of wire, the more electricity it produces. So again, I'm going to link you to my first year notes that I've done just the other week, just so you can remind yourself a little bit about that.